How about my dearest YouTube friends? Today we are in a new video, the second video of today. Because let's remember that I have already brought you this week's secondary mission number 3, and in this case, friends, the information has just come out about whether they are going to dive Nerfair or they are going to leave the same of Isophyne. Let's remember that it was the first idol that they have put us in the game by each creation, literally new from each van. And apart from that, they are going to give us A of the Deathless. Let's remember that it was the key piece of all this content, and that we already know how good it is, how it bursts it is in attack, and how it also bursts it in defense. So let's hope they don't touch that character. So well, let's start with the news, friends. Hello everybody! Balancing is here again in an update on the latest round of champions by review Isophyne and the Deathless champions. Yes, it is true that many people wondered, why aren't they over? Which has been information about the swing of these Deathless characters. Because, for example, a lot of time has passed. King Group has passed. Guillotine has passed. Vision, Deathless, Holka, Deathless, and finally Thanos. And he knows nothing. Nothing was known about Balance Team, and everyone was asking it. Even I was asking myself, because it is true that a couple of Deathless characters that I would like to improve, okay? But first, we are going to face Isophyne. Let us remember that he is a character that appeared in December of last year, that is 5 months ago, and he is a character that I really like, who develops very well in attack. The only thing that is true is that he has to face you against characters that generate many improvements for him to be totally efficient. So maybe I would change their operating system a little, maybe put placebo improvements in the opponent to cancel them out or something like that. But let's see what they tell us from those people. Find uses the classic mystical communication of nullification and power increase to. This is the flexibility of the mechanics of the fractured power bar. Is that true that, by the way, you have gameplay from this EOFend, which I, for example, really liked in Rango 3D on the Veil channel? Its combination of humanities and mystical utility has proven to be effective in confrontations with many improvements, or based on increased snake power. Hulkling World are some of your best counters. That is true, and as I just told you, Isophyne shines a lot in fights where they have many improvements. The opponent, in this case Hulkling, is one, for example. A snake, a gob raider, a cosmic forgiveness, a cosmic rider, in the end a phoenix, a darphoenix also performs very well, because in the end we take away those improvements. But let's see what it tells us at the same time, that it performs wonderfully in non-optimal confrontations. Look at this. I've already discussed it with you a little more, that it works wonderfully in non-optimal confrontations. I see it as a little crazy. Yes, it is true that it works well. It has good base damage, but it is true that it gets very slow when the opponent has no upgrades assigned, so I would like them to change. That's what they tell us. We're also glad to see how she's performed as a defender, as most champions can comfortably counter her as long as they factor in her increased power and fractured power bar. That's true. Depending on the node, this character can also be quite annoying due to the accumulation of power he has, and that fractured bar that can throw several super attacks at you in a row. I can't be bothering you, but I think I have never personally had any problem with this character. It's always been pretty easy for me. Overall, we are happy with the performance of Isophyne, and it will stay the way it is. Look at this. I can pass it on to you. Okay? In other words, I would have really liked, as I said before, if it would improve, or rather improve their gameplay against characters that do not generate improvements. But hey, let's see. I can pass it on to you if in this case you give me an improvement in the dealers we go to. Know them right now in Isophyne? Well, I'm left with a small bittersweet taste, but I'm happy because the truth is he is a character that is good, because I know he becomes a direct counter to the cosmic ones that generate many improvements. Okay, but here comes the important thing. Immortal champions. Immortal champions. Given that our first 4 immortal champions were heavily inspired by their original counterparts, let's remember that a long time ago in battle, maybe I'm talking 2015, 2016 or something like that, there was a series of missions in which we were developed these characters in black and white. King Group, Vision, I can't remember which, Scarlet Witch and Vision, I think. I can't remember. I think they were one of those 4. I think then it was, if Hulk of the LS, for example, we will talk about them separately. The damage part of the LS, who was created from scratch. Guillotine of LS, King Group, Vision. And if Hulk, we will start this section remembering Cabanef's introduction to the Beldes Immortal Champions that can be found at the top, featured of Guillotine LS champions. Lots and lots of channels will remember that these black and white versions, as I said, appeared as defenders many years ago in totally non-playable characters. Okay, these new Deathless champions are our chance for you to own a piece of Marvel Auto Super Air history, along with some cool twists we think you might enjoy. For each Deathless, we bring the existing kit of each one of those champions and we will remix them. This is not about revisions, but a new version of an old design. Most of the champion's abilities will remain intact, i.e. all the points where the antiquity was noticeable or where they fit our current champion layout in Marvel. But even though the kits were pretty much the same, we're giving them a numerical adjustment where we'll consider opportunity. We have incorporated new and powerful synergies that do not exist in the current version of the champion. This was basically when Kavantnir himself explained to us how they were going to make these new Deathless characters based on the immortal champions from many years ago, which were basically going to be reworks like that. So to speak with the character's basic kit, then we are basically told that the goal of the first four champions of them was to preserve the identity and archetype of their non-immortal counterpart, along with the combination of light tweaks and skill changes to bolster their security over time. That's true. I have to tell you that they have made it quite spectacular. For example, they are telling us that Ray Group Deathless is inclined towards inflation, energy damage plus regeneration. It was a consignment of the skills of poison, marginalization that the king group itself has. Let's remember that Guilo has Deathless instead of applying hemorrhages like crazy since he applies pain. Therefore, that increases his attack damage to more characters. In this case, Vision. Vision Deathless for me is the one who limps the most. Okay, he is the one who has taken away the most potential because in the end, he doesn't have that bed. He is so aggressive that he had Classic Vision, which by the way, to me, I consider that Classic Vision is better than Deathless Vision, and I hope that they will touch Deathless Vision. Okay, so, and be Hulk, because to me the truth is that both normal Hulk and Deadly Hulk seem like two pieces of characters, one with more damage, so to speak, energetic, and the other based on furies. Okay, one is created and apart the championship behind as a team, knowing that a future challenge would be a fun, original way to conclude the arc of the Deathless that in the saga we had in January. Yes, no, it cannot be a network of synergies, all types of content in the team from the general appearance. We are happy with the result of the Deathless team. Be careful because here there is no longer their Vision Nano, and let's hope that every token is worth seeing what they tell us. In general, we observe optimal use and performance of the different game modes, and we are very satisfied with their performance as individual champions and as a mission team. I don't agree with this at all, huh? What vision of LES is good? I don't think so, EH. That said, when analyzing the LES's vision performance in the last 6 months, we see that it falls short those objective confrontations. Well, friends are saying that it falls short perfectly. While we go, we see that a small group of players use it very effectively. We also see an opportunity to power up his facing abilities, more blocking and healing, and close that gap through adjustments. Vision Deathless will enter Civilization in batches. Perfect friends, we have Vision Deathless buff. It's about time. He was a character that I loved from Classic Vision. In this case, we are talking and they took away that beastly power that he had from Kamapoderes to change it with his face mode, and so that in the end, he would not burn so much power with this Vision of Deathless. So let's see how it turns out, because it looks like they're going to be updating. But here comes the important thing, friends, the LA, the chase, so to speak, that you could be getting the other four characters of the Dells, the very powerful Thanos of the Dells, and what they tell us is that, as mentioned above, there are the Dells. He was not a light version of his counterpart, not Deathless. Let us remember that the non-Deathless part is a totally trophy character that is worthless in the games, but was created from the ground up to be a powerful dual threat champion in both offense and defense. They are designed to highlight confrontations with a lot of armor and commanders. They are longer, where he has the ability to reach his damage and regeneration limit. Thanos Deathless made a great impact quickly as an attacker, being widely used in alliance wars and battlefield matches with excellent performance as Red Skull objectives, and in addition to the future to be a direct counter of these two characters that in the end generated many robustness improvements, being two of his best. We also observe the considerable situation of his effectiveness in the confrontation. He is a target and we are happy with his performance as an attacker. The truth is that they give us Dele seems to me to be a piece of beast in attack and defense, and it seems that they are. With the performance, so it seems that they are not going to affect us at all on the attack side. So if you were hesitating to give it a rank 4, I recommend that you give a rank 4 to their estetans who have finally told us that they are not going to nerf him. The Thanos Deathless Defender Kit was designed to disrupt and restrict incoming bulks and reward attackers, allowing them to respond or evade their threats. In Alliance Wars, Thanos Deathless has found several popular locations for mini-bosses, and that consistently as a defender of battlegrounds. His distribution of defenses as a defender in both game nodes reflects his objectives with a variety of control champions. of mystical improvement with among its most popular and effective counters. Effectively, with a mystical character that you give us from them, you can eat it with potatoes. We also see that players creatively use champions who as such are unstoppable, benefit from Thanos Deathless energization and a greater frequency of special attacks. They are satisfied with their performance as a defender. There are no changes for Thanos Deathless. That was the important thing, and what I wanted to read is that there are no changes for Thanos Deathless. So in this case, I can finally breathe well. Let's remember that it was my second rank, 4 out of 7 stars and 1, which totally deserves to take it to the highest possible rank. And therefore, what's next? Since Vision Deathless enters the update group, it will be released with batch number 2.1, target compilation for a given task. The date is not known, and we also remember that Patriota Modo Quilondu will be released in batch 1 of our compilation in August, so we will see by mid-June about Okole, and between that, we hope that these two characters will not touch it. So friends, leave me the comments you thought of this balance update, the Isophyne and the characters in this if you liked it. Video do you suggest? Where are you? And see you in other videos. Bye bye.